Welcome back to Dark Matters TV, and if you're new here, thank you for joining us. Here we delve into the most compelling true crime stories from around the world. If you believe these stories matter, if you believe victims deserve to be remembered and their truth brought to light, I invite you to subscribe. Here we dive deep into cases with care and respect they deserve. Today's case is one that shook an entire island, devastated a family, and left the world asking how something so horrific could happen in paradise. This is the story of Christie. Today's case takes us to the idyllic shores of Fiji, where a dream honeymoon turned into a nightmare. They say paradise is where you go to escape your problems, to rest, to breathe. For Christie, it was supposed to be the beginning of forever. A secluded island resort in Fiji. A new husband, a new chapter. But what unfolded during those fleeting days was anything but a honeymoon. It was betrayal in its most brutal form, one that would end in tragedy, in blood, and in unimaginable loss. This is the story of Christie, a 36-year-old pharmacist who never made it home from her honeymoon, and the man she married just 3 months before, who would become the prime suspect in her violent death. Christie was a remarkable woman known for her kindness, intelligence, and dedication. Originally from China, Chris spent much of her youth in Memphis, Tennessee. She was an only child, cherished by her parents, and known for her vibrant personality and unwavering work ethic. Before pursuing a career in pharmacy, Christie followed her passion for baking. She attended the prestigious Johnson and Wales University, where she honed her skills as a pastry chef. Christie later opened her own bakery in Denver, Colorado, aptly named Sweet as Pie. Her bakery was celebrated for its Southern-inspired treats, reflecting her Memphis roots. A 2014 article in 303 magazine highlighted her commitment to quality and nostalgia in her baking, noting how her chocolate chip cookies could transport customers back to cherished childhood memories. Studio microphone quote from 303 magazine, 2014. Christie's desserts are infused with nostalgia. Every bite of her chocolate chip cookies tastes like Sunday afternoons in Grandma's kitchen. Despite her success in the culinary world, Christie felt a calling to make a broader impact. She returned to school to study pharmacy at the University of Tennessee Health Science Center. Her dedication paid off when she received the 2021 Wolters Kluwer Clinical Drug Information Award of Excellence in Clinical Communication. Christie's research focused on social determinants of health in low-income areas, showcasing her commitment to community well-being. And despite the demanding hours, Christie found time for what truly mattered to her: family, friends, and a dream she held close: finding love. As we delve into the heart of this chilling case in our pursuit of truth and justice, take a moment to subscribe. It goes a long way in helping us continue uncovering stories that matter. In November 2021, Christie met Bradley Dawson, an IT professional working for Youth Villages, a non-profit organization in Memphis that supports children facing emotional and behavioral challenges. Their relationship progressed rapidly, and they married in February 2022, just 3 months after meeting. Friends and family noted Christie's happiness and excitement about starting this new chapter in her life. Christie and Bradley planned a luxurious honeymoon at the exclusive Turtle Island Resort in Fiji. Known for its pristine beaches and private bungalows, the resort offers an intimate experience for only 14 couples at a time, offering privacy, personal chefs, and hand-carved bamboo bungalows with oceanfront views. The couple arrived on July 7, 2022, eager to celebrate their new life together. On July 9th, just 2 days into their honeymoon, staff at Turtle Island grew concerned when Christie and Bradley didn't show up for breakfast, or lunch, or dinner. The villa door was locked. When resort personnel finally entered, they found Christie's body in the bathroom. Blood pooled near her head. Her face was swollen. She had been beaten severely, blunt force trauma to the head, multiple injuries across her body. The medical examiner later revealed that some of the wounds appeared defensive. Christie had suffered multiple blunt force injuries, and her death was ruled a homicide. Bradley was nowhere to be found. He had fled the island using a kayak, paddling through the Pacific in the middle of the night. He was discovered 36 hours later in the village of Matakawalavu, roughly 2 miles away, by local police, carrying his passport and personal belongings with no cell phone. He claimed that Christie's death was an accident, that they had been drinking. Evidence suggested otherwise. Witnesses reported hearing the couple arguing the night before, and the severity of Christie's injuries indicated a violent altercation. The Fijian authorities took the case seriously. Bradley Dawson was charged with murder and held without bail. He requested an attorney and initially refused to speak to police, but eventually began to change his story. He later claimed he and Christie had a fight over finances, that she hit him first, and he pushed back. That a claim no physical evidence supported. And if you are yet to click that subscription button, go ahead and do that now. Turn on your notification so you don't miss out on any of our true crime case. Back in Tennessee, the news stunned Christie's community. Her parents were devastated. Friends were confused. Coworkers struggled to reconcile the gentle man they had briefly met with the monster now in custody. February 2025, Bradley Dawson stood trial for the murder of his wife in a Fijian high court. The prosecution laid out a chilling sequence of events. A violent argument in their villa. Physical assault with a wine bottle or other blunt object. A desperate cover-up attempt followed by an escape into the jungle and ocean. They presented forensic evidence of blood spatter consistent with repeated blows. They showed photos of Christie's injuries, including a shattered orbital bone and fractured ribs. Bradley's defense team argued that Christie had slipped and that he panicked, but the jury wasn't convinced. And then came the allegations from Bradley's past. Bradley Dawson, as it turned out, had a prior domestic violence incident, not with Christie, but with a previous partner. Court records revealed a 2021 domestic disturbance call, during which Bradley allegedly shoved his former girlfriend. The case was dismissed, but the signs were there. After a 6-day trial, Dawson was charged with murder and stood trial in Fiji. The prosecution presented compelling evidence, including witness testimonies and forensic findings. In December 2024, he was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison, with a minimum of 18 years before eligibility for parole. Quote from her father: "She had everything to live for. She was our joy. She didn't deserve this." In the wake of her death, advocates have pushed for stricter vetting and background checks on dating apps and marriage licenses. Others call for mandatory domestic violence training in healthcare settings, where many victims seek help but never disclose abuse. Christie's name has become a symbol of silence, of trust misplaced, of the terrible cost of ignoring early red flags. Christie spent her life trying to help others. She brought sweetness into the world in the form of pastries and prescriptions. She gave, she loved, she trusted, and in return, she lost everything. Let this story be a reminder: love should never hurt. And if you, or someone you know, is experiencing domestic abuse, don't wait. Reach out, speak up, save a life. If Christie's story moved you, please take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. We bring you real stories of true crime with heart, truth, and the voice of those who can no longer speak. Tap the bell so you never miss a case. Until next time, stay safe and stay aware.